From podcast obsessed to killer Apprentice, Slasher's Apprentice 1 recap. A young woman with black nail polish types on her laptop, plugging in a red microphone. She taps it lightly before speaking into it. Welcome to the Knife Life, where we cut deep into the ins and outs of the most notorious slashers and find out what about them keeps people hooked. Tonight on Episode 8. I've been conducting research in the deep fathoms of the internet and have come across a case that I believe deserves a spotlight. We open on a cold night in suburbia where a man is jolted awake. What the hell? I can't even get a good night's sleep anymore. He heads down the stairs, the narrator's voice continuing. The first thing that stuck out to me as a red flag was one of the victims getting up to investigate a noise in the night. Never investigate a noise alone. The man mutters, "Damn raccoons, probably getting into the trash again." He opens the fridge, as the narrator's voice cautions, and especially don't let your guard down after barely checking on said noise. He grabs a carton of juice, pouring a glass, as the narrator continues, "Loitering can leave you vulnerable." The man drinks his juice, and the narrator finishes, "I can't tell you how many cases I've seen where a midnight snack has led straight to imminent death." As the man finishes his juice, a masked figure with glowing red eyes appears behind him. And once that first mistake is made, the masked figure plunges a blade into the man's throat. The man's eyes widen in shock, blood spurting from his neck as the glass falls from his grasp. Gack, the floodgates are open. A young woman peers out from her bedroom, concerned. "Ken, what's going on? What was that noise?" She rushes down the stairs, but finds the masked figure standing over her husband's body, a bloody knife in his hand. She bursts into the kitchen, bewildered. "What in the world are you doing out of bed at this time of night?" She continues up the stairs, calling out, "Kenneth!" Footsteps ascend the stairs. "You're gonna wake up the whole house." The masked figure slashes the woman's foot. "SLICR." She falls backwards down the stairs. Thud, the masked figure approaches. Gasp, the masked figure raises his knife to strike. WHUD, the woman raises her hand in a futile attempt to defend herself. But one of the absolute worst things you can do is freeze. A young woman sits huddled in a closet, knees drawn to her chest, terrified. Elsewhere, the masked figure sits at a table, a newspaper and a bottle of alcohol beside him. Victims aren't the only ones who can make mistakes. For instance, not double-checking for any survivors. The young woman walks out of the closet, gazing down the stairs at the body of the woman who was just attacked. Leaving any form of trail behind is another classic faux pas. She pauses, contemplating what she's done. A little bit of cleanup can go a long way in such a messy business. The scene shifts to the bedroom of the young woman from before, now with posters related to slashers, as the room slowly becomes more colorful as she sits in bed and starts typing on her laptop. And the narrator says the process of becoming is not instant. The young woman, wearing glasses and headphones, says, "That's all for this episode. Tune in next time for more stabs, slashes, and brain bashes." She clicks the stop recording button on her computer. The record player emits a crackling sound as it plays. She watches the footage of the woman being murdered as she opens a bag of nacho chips, typing away on her laptop. The printer whirs, spitting out blueprints. The young woman grabs the blueprints, packing a bag with what looks like a weapon of some kind. She tosses a pair of keys into a bowl with other various items. Tonight, they and their iconic lion mask are known for being the longest active killer in the Pacific Northwest. The young woman is seen searching a cabin, peering over the mantelpiece. They're not talked about much these days, as they have become more obscure over the years. The young woman looks out the window at a vintage car approaching the cabin. "I have my own theories as to why." The young woman hides a laptop inside her bag. The screen shows a security feed with various camera angles of the inside of the cabin. Inside the cabin, a group of young adults hangs out. One of them exclaims, "Bro, did you even see that touchdown last night?" Another retorts, "Brad, all you ever talk about is sports." A third chimes in, "Nah, dude, I was too busy expletive your mom." A woman on the couch rolls her eyes, "Oh my God, you're so gross, Chad." The young woman from before is shown on her laptop, remarking to herself, "What year is it? 2005. Brad shoves Chad, asking, "Where are you two off to?" Chad responds, "None of your business, you creep." Another woman adds, "Hey Brad, make sure you pull out in time." Brad flips Chad off, yelling, "Expletive, you dude." Chad says, maybe you should worry about yourself. It's not my fault you never got laid in high school. The first man sighs, you both need to grow up. Brad and the woman from before enter a bedroom. Slam Brad says, finally, we're alone. They kiss, but as Brad gets on top of her, she says, Brad, I'm not that kind of girl. And he retorts, I brought protection. Suddenly, a gloved hand appears from under the bed, wielding a knife, and she yells, I only do hand stuff. A figure in a lion mask stands behind the couple, holding a long, hooked blade. The woman asks, who the hell is that? Brad asks, confused, wah. The lion-masked figure plunges the blade into Brad's eye. Blood splatters as Brad screams, oh my God, H. The woman yells, Get away from US, Brad. As the lion-masked figure attacks her as well. UNNGH, get off, Brad, The narrator says, their level of brutality is infamous. Back at her computer, the young woman says, 2 down. As she watches the live security feed, the others in the cabin are attacked as well. A man yells, what's going on in there? The lion-masked figure crashes through the door, attacking him with a wooden beam. CRONCH, he cries out, ah! Another man's leg is horrifically mangled with a sickle. Oh my God, ARRRRRGH, a woman screams, NOO, please, as she is grabbed by the lion-masked figure. Meanwhile, the young woman eats a Slim Jim and drinks from a straw. RIR. SHLURP at a laptop, the young woman says, and now we wait. The lion-masked figure stands next to a mounted deer head. Bodies lie strewn about the cabin, covered in blood and gore. They always left a messy trail behind wherever they went. A figure in an orange jumpsuit stands in front of the vintage car from before. Pools of blood seep into the wooden floor. And yet they've completely avoided capture for nearly 50 years. The figure adjusts a clock on the mantelpiece. The figure, revealed to be the young woman from before, now wearing glasses, clutches a purple teddy bear. But every streak is meant to be broken. The van speeds away from the cabin. VROO. They've always operated in the same area, hence the name. Inside, the young woman is working on her laptop. Another shot shows the young woman asleep. Finally, the young woman walks away from the van, down a narrow alley, carrying her bag. There's only so many places someone can hide. It used to be easier to get away and hide after walking into an unlocked house, killing a whole family, and grabbing a bite to eat on the way out the door. The young woman walks down the street as a hooded figure walks in the opposite direction. Nowadays, anyone can be found. Everyone has access to GPS and a camera in their pocket. Almost every building has a home security system installed. The young woman peers in through a broken window, watching the hooded figure inside. A close-up shows the hooded figure and then a gloved hand from behind him, putting on a glove as the narrator continues, if someone wants to find you, they will. The young woman climbs through the broken window. She stumbles inside the building. She smiles to herself, the elusive Hopton Valley killer. The lion-masked figure says, I've finally tracked you down. The young woman kneels before the lion-masked figure, holding a butterfly knife. The lion-masked figure asks, would you have me as your apprentice? To be continued. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.